get up, get up, get up. Oh, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Oh.
Hi, everybody. Who's this guy?
Yeah. I watch Trucker John. I'd watch his YouTube channel all the time. What about it? Every Tuesday and Thursday, he's got live streams at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So, yeah, I watch it. It's a great show, man. Watch it. Check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
And when you do check it out, you should subscribe to it so that you can always check it out every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do around here. We watch Trucker John on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Yep. And we subscribe. And we hit the like button. And I've even heard that some people hit the thumbs down button. But what are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right. Hey, there's Jolie. Well, I got at least one person in here. All right. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? I'm just finishing up. I had a quick lunch over here at Five Guys in the Driver's Lounge entrance. Today we're in the Driver's Lounge, apparently. So, I went, I changed shirts. Got a different shirt underneath there. No green shirts. And I still have my hoodie on. I was outside. It's a little rainy outside, rainy and drizzly. And but I got my. Can you see my stickers there? I got my I voted stickers. I got one on each side, and that's it. So the polls are still open here in Nevada. If you're a Nevada voter, polls are still open. Go ahead and get your vote in, and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Now, hopefully, you guys won't mind if I munch on a Five Guy French fry. You guys ever have these Five Guy French fries? Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. And so now got some Five Guys. Hey, Jeannie's here. Thanks for being here. Hi from the Bay Area. That's right. You're from the Bay Area. You're getting all rained on and stuff. We are certainly getting the rain now. And it's supposed to rain for, I think, a couple more days. But then it's supposed to clear up. And it'll be all nice and dry and hot again. Or not hot, but, warmer. It's not really hot this time of year, but, just, was it last week? We were getting temperatures up in the 70s. So, Jeannie says, not too much today. Blue skies. Blue skies. Well, that's good. It's good to get a break from the rain. It's like we always need rain, especially out here in the West. But it's always nice to get blue sky days too. So, good to have it be intermittent. Hey, there's Seha says Mayorkas impeachment vote coming up in Congress next few minutes. Keep us apprised of that, Seha. Of course, well, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how it breaks up. We know pretty much how it's going to go, but it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But and this is another opportunity to just point out the Republicans' hypocrisy, right? They want to act like Mayorkas did something impeachable. I say all the damn Republicans should be impeached, for not giving him the tools he needs. Big Hook is in the driver's lounge today. Here we are at the driver's lounge. See, I'm trying to remember. This was, I'm looking at that picture. That's a Schneider facility. I forget if that's the one up by Salt Lake City. I forget exactly which one that is. It's funny how I'm forgetting shit. But anyhow, Jeannie says, I think I saw on Twitter that they postponed it. Not enough votes. The Republican Party is a mess. And which I don't mind them, sort of self-imploding or whatever. But when it comes to, running the country, we need them to govern. And they just don't know how. Or maybe they do know how, but they just don't want to. And like Randy Rhodes said today, I was listening to Randy, because you played part of the Biden speech where he was asking the Republicans to, to basically grow a backbone and stand up to Trump. And then Randy, chimed in and said that they don't, they're spineless. They are spineless. It's pathetic. Let's see here. Where was I at? Big Hook. We need water storage facility solution to deal with the climate change intense weather events. Yeah. Jenny says, I think I saw on Twitter that they postponed. Oh, I read that twice. Jolie said, just had to make an emergency run to my parents. My mom fell and my dad couldn't get her up. She's okay, driving home now, but I'm listening. Oh my goodness. Well, you make sure, yeah, you take care of your folks. And yeah, I hope she's all right. It looks like you said she's okay, but that's kind of a scary moment. So yeah, I hope that everything's okay over there. Big Hook says, your green translucent hat is giving off Harry Potter vibes. Oh, well, this really isn't green, is it? This is gray. But yeah, look at that. Maybe I need to set, maybe my little thing is not, yeah, it is kind of, yeah, look at that. It is translucent. But this is, this hat is gray. Maybe I have to change hats. Let's see here. What's going on with my hat? Is that a little better? I think that's better. Let's see, what does this one do? It's kind of weird, huh? I don't know. It's not quite so translucent now, so. What can I say? I can see the green on my fingers too, so. Maybe it's not light enough in here. I usually open those blinds, but I forgot to. And it really is just cloudy out anyhow. I wouldn't let much light in. But anyhow, maybe that's a little bit better. Let's see here. Mark's Home Hobbies. I guess they chickened out at the last moment. I guess so. Mark's Home Hobbies. Thanks for being here, by the way. I'm not sure if I've ever seen you in here before, so thanks for being here. Thanks for coming by. Make sure you give me the like and subscribe and thumbs up and all that good stuff. I'm eating a French fry, by the way. Janine says, yes, your hat is see-through. I don't think it's so see-through now. I think I fixed it. All better, actually. Okay. I still can't see what you're thinking. Hey, there's Jesse Logie saying hi from North Dakota. Well, thank you, Jesse, for being here. Make sure you give us a big old thumbs up. And subscribe if you would. That'd be awesome. Trying to get to 1,500 subs. We're at 14 and change. 1420, it looks like. So we are growing by leaps and bounds. I can see a total greenness around my whole head, so I don't have it set right, I don't think. Or maybe I just need more light. I don't know. And I can't really reach my little thing here, but I guess we're just going to have to put up with it. But thank you, Jesse, for being here. How's North Dakota? What's the weather like back there in North Dakota? Eh? See, North Dakota, I think in my trucking travels, I think I only made it into North Dakota once. And I made it into South Dakota. I drove across there a few times, not too many times, but I think about 3 times. Trying to remember what city I went into in North Dakota. Because I really did try, I wanted to make, an effort to at least drive through every state in the lower 48 at least once. And I'm pretty sure I went through North Dakota. But not too much. I think maybe just one time just so I could check that off the list. But I did go through South Dakota a few times. There's 56 Nick Rich. Like number 16. Hey, trucklers. Yeah, that's right. But I'm not sure what we ever settled on, whatever which you all going to be called, if you want to be called something in a group sense. You can hear that. Yeah, Jesse Logie, do you hear that water? No, my shower is not running. I was wondering if it was picking up right here, outside of this window here. All the rain from the roof goes out. It's channeled out through the little, thingy, little gutter, and then it just pours right out off this top floor here, and it just goes right down, and there's like a courtyard, and it kind of sounds like the world's longest time someone taking a leak, and it is kind of loud. I guess I just got used to it and just kind of zoned it out. But I remember earlier thinking, I wonder if that was picking up or not in the mic, and apparently it is, because Jesse Logie made a comment about it. But yeah, that's from all the rain we've been getting. We're getting a lot of rain there. Hey, Robert Propone is here. Hello to you. Big hook, reflection from the green screen, I bet. Yeah. Could be. Let's see here. Nick Rich says, number 14, actually. Correction there. Mark Home Hobbies, first timer. Well, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. We're just going to shoot the shit and see what happens. We just never know. So, the thing about this chat, sometimes we get into politics. Sometimes we talk about animals and spiders and various gross diseases or something, scabs or something. But like today, we had an earlier show, we talked a lot about liters versus gallons and Canadian maple syrup versus U.S. maple syrup. So you just never know where the conversation's going to go. By the time we're done here, we might be talking about your favorite applesauce or something. I don't know. If you have one. Robert Propont says you can't have 1420 without 420. There you go. Mark Stone Hobby says I have cat videos. There you go. Who doesn't? Who doesn't have a cat video laying around somewhere? Big Hook says, are we going to Fargo speak? Don't you know? I don't know. 56 Nick Rich says shooting shit. Mark's Home Hobbies. I'm a former CDL driver also. Alrighty. So how long did you drive? What did you drive? Where did you go? I guess I could say I'm a former driver because it's been about a year now since I last drove professionally. Cause now we're in February, so I think by February I pretty much had parked my truck, and I think the truck actually was in the shop at this time last year. I had it in the shop, and there was just so much wrong with it. So much, it was going to need so many tens of thousands of dollars worth of work on it that I decided to just pull it out of the shop, and I ended up selling the thing. And I've just been driving for Uber ever since then. And I enjoy doing the Uber thing. It doesn't pay quite as well, but still, I think I feel happier. I feel less stressed out. Been a nice break. And by break, it sounds like I'm going to go back to truck driving. My CDL is still, it's still good. It's still good for another, I think, 3 years, or something like that. 2027, I think, good till. and I keep my my medical certification up to date and everything. So just in case. But I think I'm kind of done with truck driving, actually. But I still call myself Trucker John because once a trucker, always a trucker. That's what I like to say. And I like I said, I still have my my CDL. Robert Paul says leaders and maple syrup, laughing out loud. Yeah, that was the main topic in the chat earlier today. Big Hook, duck hunting, wabbit hunting. Suzanne Foriasepi's here. Thanks for dropping by, Suzanne. Nice to see you. And she says hey to everybody. Robert Perez, all smoked to that. Hey, Robert. Thanks for stopping on by. Good to see you. Mark's Home Hobbies. Coil Steel, 13 axle, Interstat, Michigan, and over the road for Leaseway. So you're doing those flatbeds, huh? With those big steel wheels? I did flatbed for about 8 months, and then until I tipped over one of the trucks, and my flatbed days were over. There's Suzanne saying hi. Robert Popon, where are the fries from? That's all I gotta say. Hey, there's Surrender Monkey. So now you drive Uber super unprofessionally. I would like to think I'm very professional in my driving capacities. If you don't mind. Oh, Surrender Monkey. I beg your pardon. Big Hook says Prius plug-in car? No, it's a Tesla Model 3 that I drive right now. Robert Perez says, I was a CDL driver for Yellow Freight. YRC. I've been into some of those yards. I've been into that one in Fontana. Over there. Roadway, Yellow Freight, right? It's quite an operation over there. That's a good outfit to root for, I think. But you would know better than I, because I never worked for them, but looked like a pretty good place to work for. Let's see here. Mark's Home Hobby says, I have an e-bike now. And my license is good still, but no med card. Yeah, I'm keeping my medical certification up and everything, just in case, if I need to just go right into it. Here I am rubbing my eyes again. I know I'm not supposed to rub my eyes. It's going to cause irritation, and I probably have salt all over them from these damn French fries. I know I just did a no-no. But now I've got this tissue here. See if that will help. All right. Where was I at? Suzanne says smash the like button. Thank you, Suzanne, for that reminder. Let's get that like button going. We got 29 watching and only 24 thumbs ups. That's not acceptable. Kevin Anderson says trucker. Hello there, Kevin. Thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping in. Robert Pabon. Oh, those are the really good fries. Yeah, I like Five Guys. They're good. Kevin Anderson says, hey, people, I was just in my first Benny chat. Oh, you were over there? Benny, is Benny on? Well, thanks for coming on over here and checking us out. I don't know if I've ever seen you in here before, so say hi. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. And hopefully you'll sub today. We're trying to get to 1,500 subs. We're at 1,420 something. So 1,500. It's a nice round number, you know. Suzanne says, Trucker John, you remind us of a big teddy bear. Okay. I've been called that before. Not the first time. 70B2 says, I'm here listening, lurking, and cleaning the house. Well, thank you for lurking. Thank you for stopping in. And I hope that house gets nice and spotless. Pisces Greeter is here. Says, hi, Trucker John. Well, hello, Pisces Greeter TK. Or Teresa, is it? Surrender Monkey, you said, I haven't driven professionally for years. I did not say that. Roll back the tape. I did not say that. I said that I haven't here's what I said. I haven't driven my truck in 1 year. Didn't say I haven't driven professionally in years. I said it's been a year since I drove my truck. I said 1 year since I drove my truck. That's all I said. Because I know you're misquoting me because I don't talk that way. I don't say I haven't driven professionally and I said I haven't driven the truck in a year, about a year. And you can rewind it and go back and look at it right now. Basically, TK says, hi. Marie Jean Greco is here. Hello, Trucker John and everyone. Well, hello to you. Thanks for being here, Marie. Always good to see you. Pisces Greeter says hello to Surrender Monkey. 56 Nick Rich says, Kevin Anderson, did you get a wrench? Oh, I'm really behind. I didn't know I was so far behind in the. How far behind am I? For some reason, I thought I was like almost caught up. So I'm going to skip down. A lot of these are the highs and the buys and the high. Or not buys. No buys yet, hopefully. Everyone's saying hi, which is great. You guys are all very nice to each other. That's good. Mark Holmes Home Hobby says, I smoke too much weed now. KA says, yes, Nick, I am officially one of Vinny's mini mods. So am I. Actually. Pisces Greeter says, hugs to you all. Let's skip down. Looks like a lot of greetings. Uh-oh. I think my chat froze up. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay. Everyone's greeting everyone. That's very nice. Very nice. Kevin Anderson says, she ended it, Trucker. She was freezing. Yeah, I looked real quick earlier when she was driving, so. It was before I came on. I mean, like half an hour ago or something. I think she was still driving when I looked. Big hook. So what keeps you up at night, John? Nothing. I sleep like a fucking baby. Especially with my CPAP machine. And even without my CPAP machine, I sleep like a fucking baby. And I don't mean like a colicky crybaby baby. I mean like a baby that's a good baby. Isn't that a weird, I guess that is a kind of weird, because a weird expression, because a lot of times babies, you know, they wake up 2 or 3 times in the night, during the night. I'm not that kind of baby. I'm the kind of baby that just goes right to sleep when his little head hits the pillow. And just sleeps all the way until whenever, you know. But what keeps you up at night? Big hook. Is it the thought of not getting enough of that sweet Toronto or Canadian maple syrup. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Robert Prepon says, Mark's home hobbies. I mean, I have many days of trimming to do. It feels like gel, you know? I don't know. Let's see, we got some more greetings. Greetings all. Greetings. 56 he's just gonna go right for the jugular right away here. Republicans are shit. Oh, merch. Well, yeah. Hopefully we'll get some merch up. And yeah, and that will be on the coffee cup. Hey, there's Robert Polizzi. Hey, Trucker John, he says, and hey, back at you. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you coming back. Glad you're in here. Just shooting the shit. 72 says, laughing out loud, my house won't be sparkling clean until I get my hips replaced. And I just got good news about that. Well, okay, all right. So it looks like you're going to get those. Going to get those new hips in there. And just be a house cleaning machine. Robert Perez says, being an owner-operator is stressful experience. Yeah, I was an owner. I was an independent contractor, but I did pay off my truck and I owned my own truck, but I did contract. I didn't run under my own authority. I ran under Schneider's authority, which is the way I wanted it. If I'd kept going any longer, I probably would have, separated from them and just done under my own authority. But I didn't. Surrender Monkey says, you said what? Right. Now, me and Surrender Monkey we're fighting. We're fighting, but we'll make up. Don't worry, guys. Surrender Monkey says, you said what I said. You said that's why it was funny. Also, Uber Super was funny. I'm going back to check. Challenge accepted. All right, let me know what you came up with. There's Jolie. Hi to everyone. Still driving at a stoplight. Will you drive careful? And I hope your mom's okay and your dad too. Hey, there's MJ McCall. I have a similar eye issue, and I hope it isn't mine. Diabetic retinopathy. I don't know what's going on. They just sort of like were kind of watering and burning. But they feel fine now, so I don't know. But I hope you're doing okay there, MJ. Thanks for being here, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. Pisces Greer says, rest in peace, Toby Keith. Yeah, I hadn't really, I'm not really a huge country fan, so I wasn't really aware that he was, going through cancer and stuff. And then today on X, I went ahead and, I hit the trends and stuff, and I just saw some of the latest trends. And I said he died of cancer. And then I just watched that. I guess it might have been his last performance. I guess it was the AMAs from last year, and he sang that song. What was it? Don't Let the Old Man In. And basically, I guess the old man is death, and you could see he was, not quite as bad. There was another video I saw that I think was a little bit more recent, where you could really see the ravages of cancer treatment and cancer really taking on him, really kind of gaunt. And the AAA one, he wasn't quite as at that condition yet, but you could tell he was, sick. And that song is basically about, I guess his way of saying like, tell death to go fuck itself or something. I don't know. But it was a really touching performance. And then they kept cutting away to a woman, I'm assuming it was his wife, and she was kind of tearing up and stuff. So that was a really, really something. And a lot of people, I don't know, I thought Toby Keith always said that he was a Democrat. Because people would say he was just, a lot of people would say, oh, he's just another right-wing, redneck country guy. And a lot of his songs sound like that, and kind of, from that kind of mentality or sentiment. But I'm pretty sure he always claimed to be a Democrat. So maybe he was just a really right-wing Democrat, which is better than being a right-wing Republican, I guess. As long as he's voting for Dems. But anyhow, I don't mean to, the guy's dead. I don't mean to, bag on him about how he voted for. I mean, for Christ's sake. Rest in peace and to Toby Keith. And condolences to his family and his friends and everyone, his loved ones. I think he was a year younger than me. He's only 62, I think, if I read right, if I remember correctly. You know, that's way too young to go. So he was probably a good guy. Maybe I don't even know. Why would I even say that? But I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. You know, but still, condolences to his family. It's a tough thing to go through. Let's see here. Sahal says impeachment failed by one vote. It failed by one vote. Who was the holdout? Who was the Republican traitor that didn't stick with it? Mark Somdummies, yep. Rip to him that hit him fast. Yeah, I didn't even know. Kevin says, Trucker, I have a nose CPAP machine. I have a CPAP machine. I don't know. It's just like a mask, like that. Kind of goes over everything. Has the big harness thing, and I'm totally used to it now. So you know, because I remember a couple years ago they came out with a thing where you could have like a little surgical procedure done, where they put a little thing in. I don't know what, you know, but it's a surgical procedure. I don't know if there's like an implant or whatever. They do something in there, and then you don't have to wear a CPAP machine. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to do any of that. And I was thinking about that, but then I was kind of reading about it. I was like, you know what? I don't want to do a surgical procedure. I'm fine with the mask. I'm used to it. So, Big Hook says, I am lucky if I get 5 hours straight sleep. But how much more do you need than that? No, I don't know. I'm usually a good 8-hour sleeper. About 7 probably. Which I think is fine. 7 to 8 hours is plenty. And it's good sound sleep. Because before I went on the CPAP machine, I gotta tell you, before I went on the CPAP machine, I was getting this, and I was probably, I might have just been turning 60, maybe 50, maybe I was like 59 or 60 when I went on that machine. It's been a few years now. And so I was starting to get that old man thing where you got to get up and pee like 3 or 4 times a night. Or, you know, first it was just once a night, and then it was like 2 nights, and then it was 3 times a night. And I'm just going, well, I guess that's just old age. I guess, what am I going to do, you know? But then when I went on the CPAP machine, I just slept like a baby all night long, you know? And then I just would, just like normally, you just get up in the morning and then you go pee when you get up. And I was just like, wow, this CPAP machine, if for no other reason, if for anything, I just love it for that. Plus the fact that, you know, hopefully I won't like suffocate in my sleep. But you know, that, and then the fact that I don't have to get up 3 times a night to go piss. That's great. That's a great, I don't know if that's just a accidental benefit or what, but it's pretty great. Surrender Monkey 1022, you said it's maybe a year since you drove professionally. Did I say the word professionally? Well, then I stand corrected. And I apologize if I besmirched your reputation and your integrity in any way, good sir. Kevin Anderson and Toby Keith, no more beer for horses. Laughing out loud. Oh yeah, that was one of his huge hits. Beer for the horses and whiskey for the men, or whatever it was. Sahal says, if nothing changes, it failed by 1 vote. Surrender Monkey, so you drive Uber super unprofessionally now. All right, Surrender Monkey. I just drive it with a level of expertise that is above and beyond probably most drivers, I would say. Let's put it that way. Okay, I'm going to correct the record. Let's put it that way. Pisces Greeter says, just found out Toby Keith had stomach cancer and passed away, I think, yesterday at the age of 62. Yeah. I'm so behind in the chat. I'm really behind because I'm talking about now, and you probably posted that 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to skip down a little bit. Pisces Greeter says, I liked a few songs by Toby Keith. Yeah, I liked a few of his songs. Robert Perez says, what is your reason for not looking forward to truck driving anymore? I don't know. I think I just got burnt out of being out on the road so much. I guess if I found a local job, maybe it'd be okay. But I don't know. I guess get tired of dealing with wheeling the big trucks through with all the four-wheelers and everything. And I'm just enjoying driving the Tesla and Ubering. It's so fun to drive. It's so easy. And after being on the road for 20 years and dealing with traffic, the traffic here, even though it's very heavy at times, especially on the strip, and it can get kind of crazy, it doesn't even affect me. And I have passengers go, how do you do this? They're like, how do you stand this traffic? And then I just tell them, well, I was a truck driver for 20 years. And so they're usually just like, before I even can get the words out, they're like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. One of those type of deals. Because I'm like, this is like, this is like kids play out here now, Mark Home Hobby says, what boils me is the lack of justice for all the law-breaking repugs nowadays. Corrupt as all get out in the open even. Their day will come. Their day will come. That 72 says King Charles has prostate cancer. Yeah, that's right. I remember hearing that. So, more of the goddamn cancer. Kevin Anderson says, I put an official obit on my blog on Toby. I found one that said he passed peacefully at his house and his family would like privacy. Okay, keep it private. Impeachment failed by one vote. A Republican switched. Which one was it? Do we know? We would have to know, right? Because they do the vote out loud, don't they? Kimchi. Hello, sexy liberals. Oh, thank you very much. Hello, Trucker John. Gorgeous Jerry. I don't know why I'm speaking like Surrender Monkey all of a sudden. Watch, he's going to come on. I do not sound that way. I do not talk that way. You have a horrible English accent. I can just hear him now. Vicky Accardi's in here. Thanks for coming back. Yes, I heard that. It killed my husband. Takes many years usually. Wow. Is that the prostate? Yeah. Kimchi Smooches. Okay, we got a bunch of greetings. Thanks for greeting everybody. You guys are so nice to each other. Big Hook. Use Blue Voter Guide and maximize your ballot. That's good advice. I think that's good advice. Seha says 4 Republicans voted no. And that is probably the 4 Republicans, when they talk about bipartisan support, basically, and a lot of times people might think, that there's probably a lot of Democrats, a lot of Republicans that are, but really it's probably, those are the 4 that are probably that would be the bipartisan support, like if we got the immigration bill through or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? Removal polyps. Yeah, that's a good thing. Remove those polyps. Pisces Reader says, my younger sister uses a nose CPAP mask and I use a full face mask. So does my older sister. Boy, a lot of us in this chat are on CPAP machines. It's a really, really more common thing, I guess. Robert Papon says, I get 6 hours max, which I could sleep more. Do you take naps, though? Just to offset it or whatever? Mark Schwab says, Dumpy will let us know who the 4s were shortly. Yeah, they're nasty. That's what he's gonna say. They're just nasty. They're nasty. Yeah. Kevin Anderson says, yeah, my doctor said if you don't like the way you talk in the mask, just think of Vader. Laughing out loud. I made a video that kind of where it was like I was Darth Vader, or I made like a Darth Vader noise sound, breathing. I should I might post that just for the hell of it. Let's see if we can get caught up here. 72 says, remember Kevin did a commercial about the implanted CPAP machine. Kevin. Who's Kevin? I don't know Kevin. But, Kevin Anderson. You're saying that to Kevin, I guess, maybe. Oh, wait, Kevin did a commercial. I don't know. I'm confused. But I am easily confused, apparently, when I read chats, because... if you don't put down a perfect sentence, I'm lost, man. Kimchi, no Steph, don't remember that. I don't remember that either, so. Nick Rich, every few hours, rain? You guys getting rain up there in Canada? I like to say Canada instead of Canada. I don't know why I do it that way. Just one of those things. Big hook. I probably need a CPAP machine then. You should check into it. What they'll do is they'll weigh you and they'll do your height, and then they'll measure your neck, and then they'll look down and see if your breathing passages look swollen or whatever. And if you meet all these like red flags or whatever, then they'll have you go do a sleep test. And it's just for me, I guess it was just a one night thing? Yeah, it's just a one night thing. Now, this was during COVID, so they did mine remotely. They used to do it where you would go into a sleep clinic and you would just go sleep there overnight. And they would just hook up little monitor things, and they could monitor your thing, and they would know how many times you actually stop breathing per minute. And if it's over a certain amount, then they're like, yeah, you need a CPAP machine. And I did mine, and mine was like really high. I forget the number. I forget how many times per minute I was stopping breathing. And they're like, yeah, you need a CPAP machine. So that's what they do. They'll have you take a sleep test, and then they'll determine if you're stopping breathing when you're sleeping, and if it's like so many times per minute, like 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever it is, I forget now, then they're going to say, yeah, you need a CPAP machine. And then once you get on it, now just remember this. For me, okay, I had the mask on when I got my mask and my CPAP machine and everything. The first night I did it, I hated it. And I almost quit. I even took it off. I said, I'm not doing this. I'm like, fuck this shit. Fuck Schneider. I'll just quit. I'll just do something else. Because with Schneider, since I was contracting with Schneider, if I didn't use that CPAP machine, they would have canceled my contract out, and I would have been out of work. I would have to go, find another company to contract with, or I would have had to go and set up to get run under my own authority and all that kind of stuff. So I was ready to just do that. I was like, fuck this shit. But then I had to kind of tell myself, wait a minute, calm down. Give it time. Look, just do this every night for a week. Wear your fucking mask every night for a week. Don't cry about it. This is me talking to me, right? I'm not saying this to you. This is what I said to myself. I said, don't fucking cry about it. Just do it and give it a week. And then see if you still hate it as much as you do right now, then you can tell Schneider to go fuck themselves. So I put the mask back on, and even though I hated it, I was still sitting there going, oh, this is miserable. I'm not used to all this shit and the harness and everything and being tethered to the machine, with the hose and everything. But I did it. And then every night I just kept doing it, and literally after 1 week, it was almost like I didn't even notice the mask anymore. It was like second nature to me. It was like I had been doing it for years. So if you do go on, if you're a new person and you're going on and you're not used to wearing a mask and a harness and having a hose and everything, you're probably not going to like it, or it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to feel right. It's not going to feel natural to you. But just make yourself do it. Give yourself a week every single night wearing it, And after that week, if you still hate it just as much as the first day, I'm not saying after a week, like it has to be that you love it. But if you haven't made any progress in that week and you're just still hating it, then you're probably going to have to find some other method or a different type of mask, because they do have the nose ones, like mine's a full mask, or they do have that procedure, that surgical procedure. You might have to go that route. There's more options. There are options, but when you do get a mask and a machine, like I say, give yourself at least a week of doing it every single night, and after those 7 days, you're probably going to be, much more used to it than on day one. So just don't quit on day one. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just skipping down here. Surrender Monkey, now I know how old you are. All I need is your signature, real name, address, and have access to your mail-in ballot to commit voter fraud. I'm voting for Mexico, by the way. Typical English person, you have no idea how our system works. You think you know, but you don't. You have no fucking idea. Vicky Accardi says, Trucker John, get your PSA check, prostate. I know. Thank you for that reminder. I need to get that done. 72 says, Vicky, my hubby had aggressive prostate cancer and Kaiser caught it early. It was treated with just surgery. He also had skin cancer and it was the same, caught early. Early detection is the key to everything. Stephen Sayers, hello truckers and builders. Well, hello back at you, Stephen Sayers. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons. I tell all the new people. I think you're new. I'm not sure. Have I seen you here before? I'm not sure. Sometimes I forget. But thanks for being here. It's always great to see you. To see people coming in and chatting and stuff. Kevin Anderson says, whiskey for my men, beers for my horses. Yep. I remember that. Sang with Willie. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm just skipping down because I'm way behind. Swinner Monkey, I'm joking. I'm a lot more harsh with Hal. Oh, you're taking it easy on me, are you? Okay. 56 interest. Hal rarely gets behind a chat unless it freezes on him. Hal hardly reads the chat. What are you talking about? He's doing a show. He does his thing. He does all the clips. He barely reads all the chat. I mean, he'll every now and then he'll look down, but he doesn't read the whole thing like I did. Kevin Anderson says, monkey everybody, goose off with Hal. Kimchi at Don O'Leary, Trucker John, Sparkler. I'm a sparkler. Kimchi, I'm a sparkler. You know I'm a sparkler. 72 says, I'm sure he's paying attention now. Say how it says, Trucker John Ubering them showgirls around, easy work. I haven't Ubered any like showgirls per se, the showgirls, but I have Ubered around some strippers. I guess you could call those showgirls. Probably a few prostitutes, I'm sure too, actually. MJ McCall. I have an all-electric Fiat 500e, 2015. Love driving it. Have to watch myself. I inherited my mother's lead foot. Yeah, and a lead foot in an EV, it really does. Woof. Gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Philly 3000. Hey, keep on trucking, Joe. Laughing out loud. Hey, Philly 3000. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming on in to the chat. Here we are at the driver's lounge. See, we're at the driver's lounge today. Thanks for coming on by. I do appreciate you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Really trying to get to 1,500. And don't worry, when we get to 1,500, I'm going to say 2,000. And then when we get to 2,000, I'm going to say, okay, we need to get to 2,500. So it's just not going to stop until we get to like 1 million. Okay. But you gotta have short-term goals and long-term goals. So right now the short-term goal is 1,500. Where were we now? Where was I? Surrender Monkey says, 56 Nick Ridge. Hal is a machine, super aware of all his surroundings, what's going on. It's quite impressive. Unlike moi here. Apparently. Surrender Monkey. Is that what you, it's like a, you know, trying to, what are you trying to say there, Surrender Monkey? NJ McCall, the crumbs of the grand old party. The grand old party. Huh. Philly 3000 says, my dad died from prostate cancer, but he ate a lot of fat. That's why you have to do the 50 and over test. Make sure you're okay. I just did it and I'm fine. Oh, well, I'm glad you're doing good, Philly. That's good. Steve Sayer says, can we guess who the 4 are that didn't vote for it? Yeah, put your guesses in the chat. Let's see what you guys think. Marie Jane Greco says, Vicky Accardi, they got my husband too. 72 says, Kevin Williams did the commercial. He's on YouTube and Shitter, should we say Shitter? As Kevinly Father, and used to do live fact checking before Hal did. I don't remember Kevin Williams, so. But thanks for the reminder. Maybe I'll check him out. Don O'Leary, Sleep Lab one night. Yeah, okay, I'm really behind in the chat because I was mentioning that like a half an hour ago. You have to have sleep apnea or sleep anemia. Sleep. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I have sleep apnea, so I don't know what sleep anemia is, but is it something like the girl from Ipanema or something? Okay, I'm gonna skip on down. We don't need to keep talking about colonoscopies and shit like that. I've had my share of those. Kim Shi says, I was tossing in the sleep lab and I hear a voice whisper, I know you're awake. What? You were in the sleep lab doing the sleep test, and then someone said, I know you're awake? Now, talk about unprofessional. I'm skipping down. Kevin Anderson says, yeah, trucker, do you buy the water for it? You know what? You want to know what? You want to know what? I run mine dry. I don't put water in it. I was putting water in it at first, and I didn't like it. It was a hassle, and it made it dirty, and I had to clean it a lot more. And I was on the road and trying to find distilled water all the time. You know, I buy a big gallon jug of it. I could find it in the store. And then I was telling, I was talking to a nurse when I was, I guess, one of my physicals. And I was talking about it. And she said, you don't have to run water in it if you don't want to. I was like, really? She says, yeah, you can just run it without water. So I've been doing it that way ever since. And it's just fine. So unless you really need to have that sort of humidifier type of effect, if you know, then you don't need it. And I don't need it. You want to know why? Because I'm cool. So let's see here. I'm kind of skipping down, so I'm missing some of the threads of these conversations. So I don't want to just jump into it because I don't want to scroll back, because otherwise I'll always be a half hour behind. You know what I mean? Big Hook says, thanks for the advice on CPAP. I don't know if you're talking to me, if you're talking to the other people that are talking about it, but you're welcome. Sort of Monkey is talking about sex screen. No, don't have that. Kevin Anderson says, trucker, I passed my trials. That's good. Alrighty. Surrender Monkey, I know more than Trump does. Probably. I don't doubt you. I don't doubt that. Okay, I'm just skipping along because otherwise I'm really just behind, super behind. Jolie stopped at the store to get us a few things. Back on the road. Seha says Buck, Moore, Gallagher, McClintock are the four. Is it semi-intelligent Republicans who voted no? All right. Good for them. I'm just going to go ahead and skip on down. Sorry to hear about all the people's loved ones that passed away. And I don't mean to give that short shrift, but I'm just skipping down. McJet says that Trucker John, what do you feel the vibes are toward Biden, Trump among truckers? Well, I haven't been out in the trucking world, like I said, for a year now, but I imagine, based on my experience, the majority are right-wingers, Republicans, a lot of maggots. But I would say that there's more Democrats and liberals than one might think. I think they're still in the minority, or at least, they don't make themselves known very much, but there's more than you think. It's not as lopsided as one might think. Big Hook says, you and Liberal Dan are far more interactive with the chat. Yeah. And, but yeah. MJ McCall, I think the fourth vote was Ken Buck. Ken Buck. He's got he's got merch that says the buck stops here, right? Pisces Reader says Liberal Dan is good. I am subscribed to him. He is good. He's got the best show on the internet as far as I'm concerned. The best political talk show on the internet. McJet, I sub. Thank you so much, McJet. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you so much for subbing. I guess I was trying to get out subscribing and subbing at the same time, and it came out sibing. So I just made up a new word. Don O'Leary says, I was a case manager at major hospitals in order to discharge people, sometimes a real bitch, but don't want to do that anymore. MJ McCall, I subbed and liked. Thank you so much, MJ McCall. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for those subscriptions and those thumbs ups. I appreciate it. It's very, very awesome. Rose Blake is here. Hey, Rose. Good to see you. Rose says kind of hard for how to, interact and chat when he's showing material. Just saying. Yeah, I agree. I totally 100% agree with you, Rose. And I think I said that. Surrender Monkey, we all know I voted for Mexico. I know you did. I know, because I believe you. I didn't know that English could vote for England. People in England could vote for Mexico, or any country for that matter. But I don't know your system, your political system over there. Like I don't think you know ours. So apparently you can vote for countries. Apparently, who knew? I didn't know. But welcome to the Truckers Lounge, everybody. Let's see here. Kimchi says, Roseblake, yes, his audience has grown also. I argue with him frequently on Periscope. Good old days, laughing out loud. The good old days. When the mamas, what was it? Were the good old days. And now we're stressed out. I like 21 Pilots, by the way. I'm skipping down, because I'm way behind. I'm way behind in the chats, and so the chats, I must skip. Otherwise, I will be talking about things that you guys talked about 17 minutes ago. I believe I am 17 minutes behind in the chat. And I don't know where I came up with that figure. But it's 17 minutes, I believe. So now I must catch up. And so I have now skipped down to the bottom. Vicky Arcudi asked, did the vote pass? I believe not. I believe they said that 4 Republicans decided to vote no. MJ McCall says, how wouldn't have recommended you if you weren't good people? McJet says, mine had 4 pills a day. Oh, I skipped, and now I'm not knowing what that thread's about. But Rose Blake says, Vicky, are you talking about Mayorkas? I believe so. I think that was the impeachment on Mayorkas that they voted on. 70B2 says the impeachment vote didn't pass. Big Hook. How covers such a wide variety of topics domestically and internationally and has a perspective most of us, unless we had traveled the world, would be unaware of. That's a very good synopsis there, Big Hook. I'm proud of you. I think we should probably put some quotations around that, and we should put that in a blurb somewhere, because that's a very good, I think, descriptor of Hal Sparks and how he does his show. Hal would be proud. Vicky Accardi, I'm talking about the vote for impeachment. Yeah, to impeach Mayorkas, right. MJ McCall says, I was stressed earlier watching the impeachment vote. Was it getting tense? I didn't watch it. Here's what I did in my little break between shows. I finished my breakfast because I didn't finish eating my bacon before the show started. Hopefully it didn't get botulism or whatever while I was sitting out on the counter. I moved the stove out from the wall a little bit, or between the counter. Because the lid to my, I have this little container of olive oil that I use for cooking, extra virgin, and the lid had dropped in between the counter and the stove. So I moved the stove over a little bit, and I got my broom and I swept out, and there was like a bunch of crap in there, like crumbs and cheese pieces, and there was a piece of a sausage. So it's good that I swept that out, because, after a while, I'm lucky to know. I guess maybe that's a testament that there really aren't any bugs in this place, because otherwise, I've lived in houses where you drop one little grain of, or one little, whatever a sugar thing is, a little granule of sugar, and you've got a million marching ants in, right? So I haven't seen any ants or bugs in here, so and I had it in between that counter. It was kind of gross. So I swept that out and swept out the kitchen and everything. And then I played some CSR2. It's just a game I play. It's this little video game, and I was watching. While I was doing that, I was just watching stuff on YouTube, I guess. So, and then I went to Five Guys. So that was my little breaky, my little achy breaky. Kevin Anderson, he was talking to me about the Paxlovid dosage trucker. No problem. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm always getting behind, because I'll read something and then I'll talk about something and get behind. Nerd Mishla, hey Nerd Mishla, thanks for coming on back here. 216 to 214, no pass. 4 Republicans decided with the Dems. We need more of that. We need some more Republicans to side with the Dems instead of siding with the maggots. Kimchi, 32, I made a delicious broccoli cheese soup. Did not taste like Panera, but still delish. You can never have too much cheese, in my opinion. I think that's probably true. I think I would tend to agree with that. I like cheese. Especially, my favorite's just cheddar. I know a cheese connoisseur would probably say cheddar cheese is like the crappiest cheese of the cheese family. I'm a sharp cheddar cheese guy, or even a medium cheddar cheese guy. I just like cheddar cheese. That's my favorite. But I do like a nice provolone, you know. And sometimes I'm in the mood for Swiss. I like a nice Swiss, like Swiss. I think Swiss cheese goes good with ham if you have a ham sandwich, you know. But for most things, when you're going to cook things like omelets, or anything you want like melty stuff, I like cheddar. I like cheddar, man. And I keep things simple. I'm a simple guy. I'm a simple man. You know? MJ McCall, what about Ukraine, Rose? See, I'm just going right into the middle of the conversation. Rosebeck, they haven't gotten to Ukraine yet. We just missed 420. Nick Rich was announcing 420. So I guess I'm only a minute behind now, maybe, in the chat. Kevin Anderson says, Steph, I have a new cure for my cold. When I was up in Yellowstone, my family and I took fiber gummies. Wow. Didn't know they had fiber gummies. Philly 3000, broccoli and cheese, yummy, yummy. I do. When I like cheese on my broccoli. Either that or just like a whole like tub of butter and salt. Ugh, boy. It's a wonder I'm still alive. MJ McCall, we need Hakeem to be speaker. We sure do. But we have to get the majority back, right, guys? So that's why we got to vote. Vote for Dems. We get the House back. And your wish will come true, MJ McCall. Hakeem will be the speaker. As soon as we get the majority. We got to get the majority back. 72, Kevin, I've never heard of those. Me either. I was just like you. I was perplexed. I never heard of a fiber gummy. Philly 3000, melted cheese on broccoli. It's really delicious. It is. You're correct, sir. Or, you know, sir or madam. I just said sir because that's like, you know, the famous saying, famous expression, you know. You're correct, sir. I guess now we have to say you are correct, they. I don't know. Steven Sater says, we don't move our stove that often either. It's once every 10 years enough. Just kidding. I know it needs cleaning more than that. Yeah, once every 10 years. That's probably good. Marie Jean Greco, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ah! I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Marie. That's a good one. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Yeah, that works. That works. Rose Blake says, I told Republicans in the stream that Tay-Tay was going to win the Super Bowl. Again, I got cussed out. You're just a troublemaker, aren't you, Rose? You're just going in there, stirring things up, stirring the pot. Rose Blake, both sides voted for Israel. Steve Sayers, I'm a veg beef soup guy. Well, there you go. Sounds good. That sounds good, yeah. MJ McCall says, Getz and Green going soon, and Boebert. I think Getz will, because I think he's going to get arrested for having sex with a minor or something. I don't know about Green. I know everyone says she's the bomber or whatever, but I don't know if that's going to stick. And her district is so fucking, you know, red and MAGA that she might be a little more secure. But Boebert, I think, is gone. So Getz and Boebert for sure. Well, I shouldn't say for sure, but I mean, I would agree. But I'm not sure about MTG. But I would like her to go. That's for sure. Steve Zayers, partly soup, partly stew. Rose Blake voted yes for Israel. Kevin Anderson, Steph, they look like Lifesaver candy, but they are gummies smothered with fiber specks, and each one take one morning and one before bed. That sounds pretty interesting. I don't really do gummies, but sounds kind of interesting. Big Hook says, until you eliminate gerrymandering and the Electoral College, fascism will always be waiting at the door. I agree about both of those things. Gerrymandering, I think we need to set our districts with like nonpartisan, committees, and they've been doing that in some of these states, fixing those, getting the districting done right. And I think the Electoral College is just like an old, antiquated, unnecessary thing that needs to be just tossed aside. We need to get rid of that. This isn't, I can kind of understand. I know there's lots of arguments about it being for slavery, and just keep the southern states more in power, or and that's I agree with all that. But it's also, I think also there was I think the argument could be made that they might have had to have that, since I think it was a lot harder to vote back then, you know what I mean? Or, I don't know. I mean, it was not everyone could vote. It seemed like it was just male landowners or something that voted. But that might not be entirely true. And in each state, it was a little different. But maybe the Electoral College in those days was a way of also kind of almost having a standard, that went all across the states. You know what I mean? It might have kind of helped to standardize things a little bit, if I'm making any sense. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm just saying that there may have been some justification for it, in the early days, but there certainly is not now. So, and there hasn't been, probably for close to 100 years, or at least since we've had our mass communication so much improved in the 20th century, that I don't see a reason for it. So I would like to see the Electoral College be overturned, or whatever you do when you take something out of the Constitution. Repealed, I guess. Steve Sayre says major Democratic vote blue in 2024. Absolutely. Rose Blake, I'm tired of them bullying us, John. Me too, Rose. Me too. I agree. Robert Pepon says MTG's district is full of people dumber than she is. See, that's what I need to find a district like that, because I would like to run. I would love to run and in some district and get a nice pension, or whatever, or nice benefits that they get. I need to find a district where I can find a bunch of dumbasses that would vote for me, and just, accept. See, I was wondering, like, should I try to fool them and say I'm a Republican, and then, but then when I get in, I just vote for Democrats? I don't know. Or should I just be honest up front, but maybe they would still vote for me? I don't know. If there's a district around here anyone knows of that I could move to in Nevada. I don't want to move all over the country, though. Like, it'd probably be somewhere in Nevada, I think. Although I like Vegas. I don't want to. And Vegas is. They probably have all the districts full of good people. So good people. But I would like to, if I could find a district like MTG did, where I could just get in there. That'd be awesome. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Terrence Bunce. Hey, Terrence Bunce. I don't think I saw you. Thanks for being here, by the way. I have one thing in common with Bobo. And then, is that like a snowboard? Is she a snowboarder? I don't know. But thanks for being here, Terrence. Don't know if I saw you before, so thanks for being here, and glad to see you. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and thumbs up for me. It'd be awesome if you could do that. Nick Rich says, piss on all things MAGA. Well, there you go. Nick Rich is just pissed off. I can tell. I can just tell. Steve Sayer says, they won't get rid of the electoral. Well, you know, I'm just saying I would like that. I know, to do that. I mean, it's not impossible. We've repealed amendments, right? You know, like prohibition and things of this nature. And so it's not impossible, but it would take, you know, a Democratic president, a House majority, a supermajority in the Senate, and then you got to get the states. What is it, like 3/4 of the states? And right now, states it's almost 50-50, maybe as far as, you know, Republican governors to Democrat. I think the Democrats have. I mean, the Republicans. I think there's more Republican governors. A slight edge there. So, and they all want to keep the Electoral College, all the Republicans. So yeah, I know they won't get rid of it, but it could be done. It's possible, but it would take a lot of things to be put into place to do it. But yeah, I know. Kevin says, Vicky, I call her Bobutt. There you go. Funko's here. Trucker John, gerrymandering is a problem, but equally as much of a problem is third-party voters on the Democratic side of the aisle. Do we have a lot of those? Nerd Mishla, Kevin Anderson, hi there. I'm just wrapping up the day. How are you doing? That's a private conversation. Or not private, but you know, I mean, seems to abolish. There you go. That's the word. Thanks for that. Fucko says, Rose Blake, hey there, we've probably had more damage done to America by third parties than gerrymandering. What specifically are you talking about? Are you talking about third parties running for president and then swaying the election, you know, to one side or the other? You know, what exactly are you talking about? MJ McCall says, yes, let's do this. Surrender Monkey. Uh-oh, here comes Surrender Monkey again. You honestly have to ask yourselves, how far do you think Europe will allow Trump, the criminal, to fuck the planet? If you won't stop him, we must. Surrender Monkey, I don't think Trump's going to make it as president, so I think we'll be good. You guys just need to, while we're, you know, kind of bickering about supplying Ukraine with weapons and bullets and shit and ammo, you guys over there, you need to maybe take up the slack for a while we hammer this out, because we can't let Putin take Ukraine, or else we'll all be into this knee deep in it. Minjay McCall says, brick by brick, my citizens. And that was a quotation, but it wasn't attributed. So I'm not sure what that was from. Fucko says, if a few Republican presidents hadn't won office due to third-party voters, I'm thinking, George W. Bush, we could have ended the Electoral College and gerrymandering. I suppose, hopefully, if the Democrats, if they did get that type of majority, if they would actually do it, they would have to know. They would have to know that that's really a strong issue by their voters. You know, If so, you'd have to let them know. If enough people let them know, then they'll back it. Fucko says exactly Nader, Sanders. I don't think Sanders did anything. I mean, for Hillary, I wouldn't say Sanders lost Hillary in the election. That was Russian interference. That was misinformation. That was a combination of things. And I don't think Sanders really did anything. Because he was running as a Democrat. And then once he lost the nomination, he backed Hillary. So I would say so with Nader, more so, but not Sanders. There were other things in play there. NJ McCall says gerrymandering is a huge problem. It is. It is a very huge problem. Philly 3000 says, I would love to see Moskowitz run for president. Well, after Joe wins this election and he does another term, and so for the 2028, then there'll be an open field. You'll probably see Kamala Harris. You'll probably see Gavin Newsom. If Moskowitz wants to throw his hat in the ring, fine. You might see, what's his face? Jamie, what's his face? He might go for it. I don't know if Elizabeth Warren might run again. I don't think Sanders will, because, he'll be way up there in age. I think he gave it 2 shots. He took 2 shots at it. Did pretty well the first time. But, there's going to be some people that are going to throw their hat in the rings in 2028. But we're a long way off from that. So let's get Joe Biden elected. Let's get these next 4 years. Let's get the House back. Let's keep the Senate. Hopefully, I'd love to pick up some more seats in the Senate, make Manchin and Sinema irrelevant, so to speak, if we could, and let's get some things done. Let's show them how it's done, man. Philly 3000, I would love to see Musk. Oh, I read that. MJ McCall says he's about to get bankrupted. Are you talking about Trump? McCall, they are about to get bankrupted. Are you talking about the Republican Party? Jim McCall says the greatest game, Shia LaBeouf. I don't think I ever saw that movie. I like Shia LaBeouf. Translation, patience, Comey. Okay. We're just going to throw out one-word responses, I guess. Rose Blake says, I think Bernie was trying to pull independent voters for Hillary, and then things went sideways. Yeah, but I really don't think Bernie had anything, really did anything. I don't think Bernie took away votes from her. I think it was the misinformation. It was the internal polling that Manafort gave to the Russians. They knew exactly where to pinpoint and hit these districts and those swing states, and that's the stuff that really made the difference. So, Nirmisha, do you think Beto will try? Oh yeah, Beto. I like Beto. I don't know if he's going to keep trying, because he might. He's good. But he's taken a few runs. One was against Cruz, right, and then against Abbott as governor. He's come up short. But he could. And I like Beto. I think he's good. I'm not sure. I mean, I would like to have seen him be I know he was a House rep. I would have liked to have seen him be either a senator or governor first. But. McCall, Newsom, Buttigieg, Goldman. Yeah, Buttigieg might take another run at it. I don't know who Goldman is. Norman Goldman, maybe? Rosebeck says, pretty sure Gavin Newsom has 2028. I like Gavin a lot. I really do. But we're a long way off from 2028. So let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. Let's Let's get 2024 done. Let's get Biden back in office. Fucko says Gavin Newsom 2028. I like him a lot. Right now, he would be my favorite for 2028. But like I said, we're still a long ways off. So Kevin Anderson says Bernie Sanders always runs. He wanted to be president since the year I was born in 78. Yeah, but he's only actually run twice that I know of. Fucko says Newsom has the making of a modern time JFK, in my opinion. And quite frankly, he reminds me of like Joe Biden, how Joe Biden is now, the present day Joe Biden, but if he was in a younger body, you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Hey, Gen X George is here. What's up, truckies? Hey, Gen X, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Haven't seen you in a while, so hope everything's all right with you. But thanks for being here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. MJ McCall, Pete is how level smart too. Yeah, he's a good guy. I like Pete. I think he's really smart. Big Hook says Manafort gave the Russians internal data polling. Isn't that what I said? Or maybe I'm behind in the chat. Maybe. Yeah, I must be so far behind in the chat. So, you know. Falco says, Bernie let his ego out of check. It was Bernie. He could have called it off. He promised he'd drop out if he became detrimental to the Democrat win. Motherfucker kept running after impossible odds. I don't know. I think, okay, if you want to hate on Bernie, hate on Bernie. I don't give a fuck. That's old. That's water under the bridge. And I don't think it caused her the election. I think it was the Russian interference mainly that did it. But and you know, you think we might both be right, you know, to some extent. Nerdmisha says Jared Moskowitz, stupid Comer, calls him a Smurf, so he ended up wearing a Smurf tie. He's smart and feisty. Yeah, I've seen some of his clips. I like those clips. They're pretty. You know, he cuts to the quick, madam, or whatever. I don't know. You've cut me to the quick. He don't mess around. Oh, get fooled again. I don't know. Swindermugger says, I'm from north of England at John, Lancashire. You have an amazing anti-Trump defender of your democracy working in your State Department that grew up not far from me. I forget her name, sorry. No reason to be sorry, because I have no idea what you're talking about. A defender of your democracy working in your State Department. Alrighty then. I'm sure she is. Fucko says we lost key states to Bernie Bros. It's a fact. If his voters fell for Russians, BS, they have no one to blame but themselves. Yeah, and that's not Bernie's fault. Philly 3000 says actually Trump rather run for a bucket of fried chicken, laughing out loud. MJ McCall says Jasmine Crockett is a breath of fresh air too. Oh yeah, I saw that little clip of her, and she's calling out the Republicans. That was beautiful. We need more of that. Absolutely. Kevin Anderson says Philly, Trump, south of the Boulder, Taco Bell, kick the bucket, laughing out loud. Cup full of ice. Rain. My feet. I don't know. Some of these posts are just like, I don't get it. But MJ McCall says the stolen emails were part of the Russian interference. Yes, they were. Gen X George says, sup at 56 Days Rich. I just read what you sent me on Discord a couple days ago. I vowed I would learn Discord this year. Well, there you go. Keep up with your vow. Fucko says, I'm done on Bernie. I get sick of the revisionist history concerning him and his supporters, though. Sorry. There's no revisionist history going on here. Okay. The Bernie Bros are the Bernie Bros, and who knows who the Bernie Bros really are? I mean, I suppose there are Bernie Bros that really were Bernie supporters, and there might be some Bernie Bros that say they're Bernie Bros, but they're just trying to fuck things up. You know, they're just probably Russian bots or something. I believe that Bernie has helped to influence Joe Biden a great deal, because Joe Biden, before he became president, wasn't as progressive as he has been since he's become president, and I think Bernie had a lot to do with that. So, say what you will. You want to bash Bernie and blame Bernie. If that helps you sleep at night, then by all means, you continue. You can, NJ McCall says Trump is about to get hit with a civil fraud judgment approaching $500 million. Yeah. From Letitia James, right? New York. Falco says, yeah, it's Bernie's fault. He knew damn well the Russians were running disinfo, and he still stayed in the race, even after it was mathematically impossible for him to win. Okay, now I'm done. Yeah, like I said, if that helps you sleep at night, just keep on. Bernie Bros equals Bernie. I know what fucking Bernie Bros are, okay? What I'm saying is, the Bernie Bros that you may have been seeing on internet chats might not have actually been Bernie Bros. Do you ever think about that? Gen X George says, of course. Hi, Trucker John. Well, hi back at you. Rose Blake says, Fucko, I don't think Bernie will be a problem. I do have a problem with some of the squad. And I really did like the squad until all this fucking Palestinian shit fucking came up. And I'm really disappointed in their lack of understanding what Hamas is and the difference between Palestinian people and Hamas is, for some reason. They should know better. Kevin Anders says, Bernie Bros feel the burn. They got burned. Philly 3000 says, I love Bernie. You will always see him at the strikes helping out. The workers got union raise. I'm going to say raise. MJ McCall says, how many MAGA trolls are Russian operatives, I wonder? Yeah, I wonder that too. I wonder that also. Focus says, I think Bernie, for influencing Joe, be farther left, except it cost us 4 years of Trump. Yeah, well, I think you're putting way too much on the Bernie influence. Sword Monkey says, are we back? We kind of dropped out there for a second. Call came in. And when I raised my arm to shut it off, my old arm hurts. But where was I at? And I was going to say, you need to put a little bit of blame on the Hillary campaign. Because there's a lot of those areas, they didn't campaign. A lot of those places that she lost, some of those districts, she kind of ignored. And Bernie didn't. And Michael Moore was the only person I heard that was, that had any kind of a national platform that was warning people and saying that Trump's going to win. And this was like a few months before the election. He was warning people. He's like, if you don't start getting into these places, if the Hillary campaign doesn't get out and start getting into some of these rural areas out here in the Rust Belt, she's going to lose. He called it. So you got to put some of the blame on Hillary's campaign too, for not running the campaign as good as they could have. I mean, they're supposed to be a well-oiled machine with lots of money and lots of influence and lots of expertise, and they kind of dropped the ball a little bit too. So you can put some blame on Hillary. She's not. Believe me, I voted for Hillary, and I thought she was going to win. If you saw the tape earlier that I did this morning, you can see how kind of despondent I was about Trump being president. I thought she was going to win for sure. So I was just as guilty as probably everybody around Hillary, who just thought she had it in the bag. Because at some point I thought she had it in the bag, and so you could put some blame on the campaign, on Hillary's campaign, for getting a little complacent. There's plenty of blame to go around. Maybe Bernie a little bit, sure. Maybe the Hillary campaign, for sure. The Russian influence, for sure. There's a combination of things. It's not one thing that did it. It's not. You can't just say it was just Bernie. You can't put it all on Bernie. Maybe there was some of that, but not. It was a combination of 4 or 5 different things, or at least 3 or 4 different things. Rosebake says Bernie and Joe have been friends for years. I think so. I think you're right on that. So now we're just bashing the squad. We're bashing. Hey, Democrats, do no harm. The one thing that I kind of agreed about when Reagan was talking about Republicans, when they're running and to not like sling mud at each other and like do no harm. I kind of agree with that with the Democrats too, in a way. Unless you're a total shitbag like Menendez or something like that, or whatever his fucking name is. Someone who does something totally, wrong, then that's different. But, as far as this like campaigning shit, you gotta, I think, not just bash people to the point where they're unelectable, or they become unelectable or whatever. 56 years I've forgotten Hillary VP choice. It was Tim McCain, Don O'Leary. Thank you. Tim McCain, which I thought was, you know what? Now, I thought, and I think a lot of other people thought, that Bernie would have been a great choice for VP. I thought, because then you're going to combine all the Bernie bros, and because I voted for Bernie in the primary. I did. I wasn't a Bernie bro. I don't like that. That insinuates that that I wouldn't vote for Hillary. The way I looked at it, as far as our compatibility, or as far as like where we stood on the issues, and I did my own little test on it, and I put like Bernie and I were probably like 96% aligned, maybe, with a lot of things he was campaigning on at the time. And then Hillary, I was like 93%. So I'm like, that's like a margin for error, statistical tie. So as far as I'm concerned, Bernie had a slight edge over Hillary as far as who I liked. So in the primary, I voted for Bernie. Then when the general election came around, of course, Hillary was the nominee. I was only too happy to vote for Hillary. I was all set and ready for a Hillary Clinton presidency because I thought she would have made a great president. Even though I voted for Bernie in the primary, I still was very happy and very eagerly anticipating a Hillary Clinton presidency. And I did not go, and I never blamed Bernie. I was not one of those people, even though I had Republican friends, supposed friends, that we really aren't friends anymore because they just turned total maggots. But they would go, almost like what you're saying here, like they'd be like, oh, aren't you mad at Bernie because he, sabotaged Hillary? They're trying to egg me on. It's kind of like what you are doing. Trying to egg me on and trying to make me turn against my own party or something. No, fuck that. That's not how it works. Foco says, Trucker John, for the record, I used to really like Bernie. I listened to him every week on Tom Hartman. Yeah, me too. He promised over and over he'd drop out when it became dangerous. He went back on his word. Well, that might be your definition of dangerous. What was dangerous? I think when he was mathematically out of it, he dropped out, didn't he? Why would he have carried on if he wasn't? Kevin Anderson says, I hated the cruel joke Trump played on Hillary on election day. I don't even know what that was. Let's see. I'm behind in the chat here. So Bucko says, I wasn't doing cartwheels about Hillary either, but what the fuck? I was, like I just said, I was completely on board with Hillary once she won the nomination. I'm just skipping down because I'm behind in the chat. Sort of like I said, Trucker John, if you play Tony Capstick Comes Home, it's what I sound like and very funny. It's pre-Monty Python, kinda. Okay. I might do that. Robert Papa, Michael Moore called 2016, and he's been dead on with the elections ever since 2016. He really has a good feel for the pulse of the nation. Let's see here. Roseback Governor from Virginia is Glenn Youngkin. Donald Leary, another problem, guys. Okay, I'm just trying to get a little caught up here. MJ McCall, it galls me to see the likes of Zinke, Biggs, Gosar, et al. Stinking up the halls of Congress. Especially Gosar, man. That guy is fucking weird. And his whole family says he has no business being anywhere near, the halls of Congress. That dude is a fucking nut job. Rose Blake says, older Democrats thought Bernie would lead us to socialism. I guess I'm an older Democrat, but I guess there's always the exceptions to the rule. Philly 3000 says, I wish Bernie was running for president. This time around, he might have made it because he would have been better than the both of them. Are you talking about 2024? Well, I mean, yeah, you like who you like. It's okay to like who you like. You can like Bernie. I like Bernie. But I like Joe. And I think Joe's done a really good job as president. And there's no reason to switch presidents. There's no reason to switch horses in the middle of the stream or whatever. Isn't that what George W. Bush used to say? So you can like who you like. That's fine, perfectly fine. Gen X George says, Rosebank, but Tim McCain was governor before him. Vicky Accardi, I love Biden. Me too, Vicky. And in all full disclosure, when Joe was running for 2020, and he decided to run, at that time there was still like 8 other people running. They had Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie and Pete Buttigieg and the blonde chick and who else? Oh, and McCaskill. Oh, not McCaskill. The one that eats the salad with a comb. And I put Joe almost at the bottom of my list. Probably above the salad, the comb eating salad comb folk person. And above the blonde. But that's how I had him down on the list. So just like a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. And then when he became president, they're very, very pleasantly surprised with how progressive he has been. So say what you will, but I think he's done a great job and he deserves a second term. Okay, so Kevin Anderson says, Trucker, the joke was there was no payphone. Trump. Deuce Soup's phone is ringing. That was Hillary. She says she's sick, so I guess I'm president. I don't remember that. MJ McCall says, you know he's bad when his own siblings take out ads advertising people over him. Yeah, yeah. Big Hook says Hillary was the single most qualified candidate for president ever. I believe so, too. She had state and federal experience, and that gave her special insights to government bureaucracy. Yeah, I think you're right, Big Hook. I agree. Donald Leary says, really, how old is that Grassley? Please. He's really very, very old. I think he's like 90 something, probably. But so not only is he old, but he's a Republican. It's like it's one thing to be old, and then be a Republican on top of that. Rose Blake says, sorry, I like Bernie, but don't think he would have ever made it as president. He isn't that diplomatic. I don't know. I don't think he would. I mean, what do you mean by made it as president? You mean not be a good president? Because I think he could have he would have. I think he could be diplomatic if he had to be. I think he's. Yeah, I kind of disagree with that. But I mean, I guess I kind of see what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't think he's not diplomatic. I think there's campaign mode and debate mode that we see, but then there's diplomacy. I think Bernie could be diplomatic. Kim She says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It won't get fully in. Sort of Monkey says I'm not even American. I'm fucking furious, but still not mental, losing my shit over things that can be fixed. Well, that's good. That's healthy, like just losing your shit over everything. That's not really healthy. I mean, it could happen. People can lose their shit, but you can't be doing that all the time. MJ McCall says I was a Pete supporter until he conceded to Joe. Which is as it should be. I mean, you can support them all the way until they drop out, and then you need to support someone else who's still running. Rose Blake, Philly 2000, what mess are you speaking of? I don't know. I skipped down, so I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Kim She says, I was Warren, but Biden is the man. There you go. Actually, so I voted for Bernie in 2016 in the primary. And in the 2020, I voted for Elizabeth Warren in the primary. And of course, in the general, I voted for Biden. The general election. So I have no problem with, in the primary, you pick who you like. If you've got a bunch of selections, you vote for who you like. You can vote for anybody. But when it comes time for the general election, that's when you need to get on board and vote for that nominee. If you're a member of that party, especially, then you vote for your nominee. That's the process. That's what it's all. It's about winnowing down this whole primary thing. It winnows. First, you've got 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 people, and then they we go through the system, they drop out until you get down to the top 2 or whatever, and then there's only one can survive, only one, and then they go on to the general, and so then you should be accepting that process, and you vote for the nominee of your party. And now, if you're not in a party, then that's a whole different issue. And then you just vote for whoever you think's best. I mean, that didn't sound right either. I mean, like, it just so happens I belong to a party where I think the nominees that get selected are always better than the Republicans. I've never seen a Democrat that I thought was not as good of a choice as a Republican. I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to word that, but Rosebank says, he wouldn't have won the presidency against Trump. I don't know. I guess sometimes I hear, or maybe even Hal saying that there is, I guess there was polling evidence that maybe says that Trump would beat Bernie, and then there's other people say that there's polling evidence that Bernie would have beat Trump. So, yeah, like you say, there were a lot of people that they get hung up on the socialism word, even though, so so maybe that would have turned off voters against Bernie in the general election. Because basically all he is just, he calls himself a democratic socialist. He's really just a Democrat that believes in social programs and social safety nets. He's not a Eastern European old socialist. That's like a whole different thing. Big Hook says Grassley went to town hall and was accused of trying to steal their Medicare, and Grassley, but you didn't lose it. He voted to end it, but was non-apologetic. So he was caught in a lie. But will the voters care at election time? Stay tuned. MJ McCall says, I'd have him thrown out, but it showed me Hillary was a political animal. Probably why she and Bill are still together. Hey, we're coming up on 2 hours. We'll shut this down in a little bit here. Fucko says, TJ, off topic, but I'm sick of people slamming Joe's age. If they went to a restaurant and an old chef made them one of the best meals they ever had, would they care how old the chef was? Would it matter? I think most of the people that are, slamming Joe's age are Republicans, right? They're just trying to find something, and that's all they got. Because his policies have been working. Surrender Monkey, Katie Porter is an angel, truly an American hero. Fucking love that woman, legend. I like Katie Porter. I think she's good. And Jim McCall, that's why I voted for Biden. I honestly thought Trump was like Pat Paulson, a gag campaign. I didn't. I never thought that. Vicky Accardi says, MJ Mick, me too. I was Liz Warren, but thrilled with Joe. Donald Leary says, Grassley just voted against feeding children. Hey, Grassley, let's go cow tipping. Big Hook. Bernie couldn't get the black vote. You can't win without the black vote. Yeah, I think that was where I read the shortcoming there. And Joe did get the black vote, Joe Biden. So that was probably the difference. I mean, I know that was. I think we're mainly talking about Bernie in 2016, even though he ran in 2020, but he wasn't as strong in 2020. But yeah, it was still the same thing. Like who carried those votes? Rose Blake said, Philly 3000, I think the Monica Lewinsky thing was not our business. I read a lot of books about her, and she was no angel. Really? You've read a lot of books? I haven't read any books about her, but I don't read a lot. So, well, I'm hearing a dog howling. Kevin Anderson says, Vicky, I want Mojo. Me too. Let's see here. There are no socialists, Marxists, communists in the Democratic Party. Yeah, I agree with that. Vicky Accardi says, I think all of them were overwhelmed by the weirdness of the times. Bernie underestimated the Russians. Many things going on. And hopefully, hopefully it's a learning, a teachable moment, right? And hopefully, the party has learned lessons, and I think they have. I think they have learned a lot of lessons about messaging and, what policies really stick, that really are vital and important to not just Democrats, but all Americans, I think they've learned a lot. Hopefully, we'll see. Like I said earlier this morning, I would really like to see, instead of this back and forth, they seem to get, like, they had 12 years of Reagan Bush. It was a horrible 12 years. And then they had 8 years of Bush Jr., and everything. And if we had just kept the ball rolling, if Carter had 2 terms, and I know that kind of makes, like, if Clinton would have been president, because there's a gap there. But let's say we had Clinton, or we had somebody that was good like Clinton or something, and on and on, and then we have, like I said, Gore might not even have been the nominee then in 2000, because it changes history and it changes the way it was. But you know what I mean. If we had just a succession of, like, good Democrats and good Democratic Congresses all that time, from the 80s and 90s and everything, just think how much better off we'd be today. So I really hope that the Democratic Party, the nominees, the campaigns, the committee, and the voters, and all of us, I hope we've all learned a lesson, to really just make it about the issues, the be strong on the issues. Don't take things for granted. Don't take groups for granted. Don't take areas for granted. Get the messaging out. Use modern technology. Don't be caught in, like, the 50s or whatever. All that kind of stuff. And let's get a run here. Let's get Joe Biden for 4 more years. Let's get a Gavin Newsom, let's say, because I like him, so I'm going to use him as my example. But there are others that you guys mentioned. Let's get a couple terms of a good, another one, and another one, and another one. And let's stop with this back and forth, always having to clean up the Republicans after they crash the economies and run the country into the ground. Let's stop always having to play, catch up. Let's let us get some good runs here, and really show the American people what governing is all about, and that this is how it's done. It's a tough battle. It's tough, going up against the Republicans' money, because they have so much money, and they control so much of the airwaves, and they control all his media and everything in a lot of ways. So it's a tough battle, but we can overcome it. We can. And like I said before, I try to be I'm just a little tiny sliver. We can get on here and we can talk. We can talk these issues out. We can try to get some truths out. We can try to get the message out, and then combine that with all the other voices. Maybe we can have, I don't know, just because it does seem overwhelming. Like, it does seem like we were talking about earlier, about how the media wants that horse race, and so they pump Trump up. They don't care about Trump, but they want that horse race, and so it does seem kind of one-sided sometimes, or it seems, like they are favoring one side over the other, and neglecting getting out the truth. So maybe here, maybe at Hal's, Liberal Dan, and even the bigger ones like Randy Rhoads, like that, we can all work together and get the message out. And right now the message is, voting is important. One of the most important things you can do as a U.S. citizen here in this here country is to exercise your right to vote, and it's important who you vote for, as we hopefully learned a lesson from Trump. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that with you, that little message with you today. We're at 5:15 my time, so I'm going to have to shut this thing down. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I always appreciate you guys being here. You don't have to be here. There's lots of things you could do. So I'm just grateful that you're here. And make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share. We're trying to get to 1,500 subs and get the watch hours up. And that would be awesome. So make sure you watch any of my videos that pop up on your feed. And today's Tuesday. So we'll be back Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. For those of you that's meant for everyone, but it's kind of like a time when we're used to getting up at 9 a.m. and listening to Hal, but Hal takes Tuesdays and Thursdays off. So I thought I would take that little time slot on Thursday morning. So maybe you guys can join me Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then maybe Thursday at before Hal goes on, we might do another one in the afternoon. Because on Thursdays, he doesn't start until 4. So I like to do sort of like a pre-game little hour or so before he goes on. And we can hang out and then do a Trucker John raid, you know. So anyhow, thank you guys so much. Valuable input in the chat. We don't always have to agree. And that's the thing. We don't have to agree 100%. We could have some differences. But at the end of it, I hope we walk away as friends. And I hope we walk away a little more enlightened and maybe thinking about things that we hadn't thought about before, you know. Kind of opening our minds to things. So, all right, guys. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you, Jolie. Jolie's back in here. And, oh, yes, buy me a coffee. Help support the show. Help keep us on and keep us going. And I will go ahead and we will do this here. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave you with this. See, who said I don't like them?